Ron DeSantis sends drones and body armor in cargo flights to Israel. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is sending drones, weapons, and ammunition to Israel as it prepares for a ground invasion of the Gaza Strip. The items ended up on a flight that was also sending humanitarian aid, including medical supplies. The military supplies were purchased by an unnamed third party. Since we were already sending donated supplies to Israel, Florida was able to include the body armor and helmets on our cargo flights. The state did not purchase these items, said Israel Redfern, a spokesman for the governor's office. The Israeli government asked the state of Florida for help transporting the military aid overseas. The supplies were included on 2 cargo planes that left Florida for Israel on October 17. The governor's office was contacted by the Consul General's office for assistance to clear federal bureaucratic hurdles associated with getting those items to Israel, Redfern said. DeSantis has been an outspoken supporter of Israel and has vowed that Florida will do as much as it can to aid the nation in its efforts against Hamas, which is designated as a terrorist organization by the United States. Time equals 400 ms, greater than Ron DeSantis is sending drones, weapons, and ammunition to Israel as it prepares for a ground invasion of the Gaza Strip. He and his wife Casey have welcomed home Floridians in Israel, whom the governor sent chartered flights to bring home. His latest move comes ahead of the third Republican presidential debate, and as polls show, Nikki Haley is moving up, closing in on DeSantis' second-place position. Donald Trump remains far and away the frontrunner. DeSantis will deliver what his campaign is calling a major foreign policy address at the Heritage Foundation on Friday. And the governor will speak at the Republican Jewish Coalition's annual meeting in Las Vegas on Saturday morning. He's used his actions to tout his leadership skills and has said President Joe Biden hasn't done enough to assist Americans looking to leave the war-torn region. The Florida governor also has accused Donald Trump and Nikki Haley of not being supportive enough of Israel. The White House, meanwhile, said it was not illegal for a state to offer foreign assistance but questioned if DeSantis followed all the proper procedures. I would certainly let the governor speak to what Florida is doing. It is not illegal for the governor of a state to offer a measure of foreign assistance to another country. There are laws and regulations which govern how the export process is handled, White House spokesman John Kirby said, and that's all done through commerce. I couldn't speak with authority today about whether the governor has checked all those boxes or not. You really should talk to him and his staff, but it's not illegal for state governor to do that kind of thing. Kirby also said he was not aware of whether or not DeSantis gave the White House a heads up on his decision to send aid. Time equals 400 ms, greater than DeSantis declared a state of emergency in Florida on October 12, which allowed him the authority to mobilize state resources to bring Floridians home and transport necessary supplies to Israel. Israeli soldiers secured an area attacked by Palestinian militants in Kibbutz Holat. Time equals 400 ms, greater than Ron and Casey. DeSantis greet hundreds of Americans who fled Israel on DeSantis Airlines plane that took off while missiles were being fired as the U.S. tries to get its citizens out. The Florida Division of Emergency Management has been flying Americans back to Florida since October 15. About 700 Americans have been brought out of the war-torn region. Officials have been unclear about how much has been authorized for the operation, but the Orlando Sentinel has identified purchase orders totaling nearly $50 million set aside for the operation. That number is expected to rise. It's unclear how much DeSantis spent on military aid for Israel. Hamas launched its attack Israel on October 7, prompting Israel to declare war on the group. Israel has launched several airstrikes and is expected to begin a ground assault soon.